It's October 1st. This is the first day of archery in Oklahoma, and I'm surrounded by bean fields right now. I'm just going to kind of show you what I've got going on here. So right out here I've got water, and then there's beans all the way around. I'm kind of on the inside corner of a field. Now there's some buck bedding right over here. And there's some buck bedding out there in the field. Can't really see it. And then the buck beds are within 100 yards from me. And I've got a south wind blowing into my face, which is great. So I'm really excited about this evening's hunt.
So here's the layout from a aerial view standpoint. So you've got beans here, you've got beans here. So the night I was hunting in this stand, and I can't hunt this property over here yet, but I'm working on it. And I'm just going to kind of show you the layout of everything. So back over here to the south, up here to the top of the screen is north, and then down here is south. There's another road, and it allows me to kind of glass this whole area in the evenings and in the mornings. And based on, my observations, the does come out here in the evenings, and they cross the field and the fence right here, like 7:15. And this area right here is water. It holds water, and they come down here and they get a drink before they go back up and start eating more beans. And the bucks, I found 3 beds. I found one out here on the edge of this fence line because I can hunt all this property here. And then I found a bed right here. And then I also found a bed over here kind of in the swamp area. Now the water level fluctuates back in here, and when it's down lower like this, they'll come back up in these swamps and bed down in here. And they're able to, watch this road here and kind of watch up through the swamp area, all these trees. And so anyway, I've got a trail camera that sends me video or pictures of this bedding area. So I'm pretty sure they only use it on a north wind the way it's set up so they can overlook this field. And then they use this one. They'll either be on this side of the fence or this side of the fence depending on the wind. And this whole fence line is covered in tall Johnson grass, and they just bed right here on these corners, and they're buck beds. So this is a road. It's just a normal road that rarely gets used, but people do drive down it, and the deer are used to seeing people drive down this road, 4 or 5 times a day, and it's really not an issue for them. I mean, I've seen big giant bucks stand right here and watch the cars drive by, and then they just start feeding again, and I'm sure you've seen that too. So I've been watching these bucks come out. They've been using this bed back in here because we've had a south wind, and they've come out, they cross the road either here or here, and they kind of join together, and then they slowly work their way up to this corner and come across. And it just really depends on, I have no idea, honestly, what causes them to push forward closer to me sooner than later. Most of the time, they end up stopping right here and until dark before they keep going. And I think it's because they're just waiting on these does to come in here and get water before they decide to come in. That way, if there's anything here, they'll be alerted, and then they can just bounce right back into their bedding. But I've watched from the road over here. Sometimes these bucks will push up into this corner where it gets shade. The sun sets over here, and this side right here with this tree line, this will get some shade, and those bucks will push down in here soon. but I haven't figured out, what makes them want to get there earlier versus not. So it's kind of like a 50-50 chance they're going to come here or not. And you just got to hit it at the right spot or the right time. So I decided to go out opening day and give this a shot. So I had a south wind, and I knew there wasn't a buck bedded here, and I knew there wasn't a buck bedded here based on the wind, because I checked my camera and there wasn't anything there, where it didn't send me any pictures. And then when I sneak in here to this stand, I look across all this to see if there's a buck bedded there. And if I don't see one, then I know there's not one right there. So that allows me to either, hunt this stand to where I have a shot right here, or allows me to come up here and ambush them when they're crossing the fence. But when I hunt here, if I have a southwest wind, it kind of hurts my hunt, if the potential to shoot a buck here. So it was opening day bow, and I decided to just play it safe and just kind of observe everything from back here without getting my scent out here on these main trails. And what I did is I took the same road. I drove my car back here, and I ended up parking right back over here and then walking up into where my stand is real quietly. Now, if I would have parked, like way off down this way and walked this road, it would have made red flags for the deer, because they're not used to people walking down this road. It's just people driving. And you got to really keep that in mind. Like if people are driving four-wheelers and you're on your property, or driving cars to get back into their tree stand and stuff like that, the deer are used to that. So don't change. Don't just decide you're going to be extra scent free or whatever and decide you're going to walk this or sneak down it, because the deer they're going to see that as a red flag, and they're not going to want to push out early. So I just did what everyone else does. I drove back in here and I parked, and then I walked back up into the stand, and I just decided to play it safe back here. Now, if the wind was switched and I had a north wind, what I do is I come up. There's an access point over here, and I get up on this fence line with this tall Johnson grass, and I walk down it. And I can check this bed right here to see if there's a buck bedded in it. And I can figure out how I can ambush him from either coming in from like up this way, because he would never see me because there's so much tall grass here, and he's going to be bedded on this side. But I usually from the road will look up with my binoculars to see if he's bedded in here before I figure out what I'm going to do. So I've got a good spot here, spot here, spot here. Just all depends on the wind and the situation. But I decided to play it safe and stay back here. And the does, they came out as usual, took the same path. And the bucks came out as usual, and they just ended up getting stuck here. They didn't want to push forward, and they waited till those does got here. And most of the does came in here to get water, but there's one decided to walk down this way, and that's when she presented me with a clear shot, and that's what you're going to see next on the video. So anyway, I hope this kind of helped you on scouting. It's always really good to kind of get a bird's eye view of everything and figure out, where these bucks are bedding, and it really allows you to, choose your stand placement very wisely. Or if you're going to sneak in and do an ambush where you just sit on the ground on the side of the fence, it really helps you understand with the wind and everything on where you can and can't set up to be successful. So I hope this helped you out.
Two nice bucks. They're out in a bean field to the east of me, but it doesn't look like they're going to get any closer. They're about 75, 80 yards from me. But I do have a doe coming in right now. so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just take her. So I'm gonna get ready for the shot here. Me. Oh my gosh, I just smoked the big fat doe. Oh my gosh, yes. There she goes. Oh, she ran about 40 yards. She's just standing there right now. There she goes. She just fell over. Yes. Yes. First day archery season. Got meat in the freezer. Yes. Oh man. I see bubbles.
Well, it's 9 o'clock and I just got her all gutted and loaded up in the Subaru. Ready to roll. Well, that wraps up this hunt here in Oklahoma. It's the first day of archery season and I just smoked a big fat doe. And I'm just so blessed to have been able to take this deer because it's gonna feed my family for the rest of this year. So, you know what? I'm just so excited because I can't wait to get out there and do this all over again. And until then, get out there, get boots on the ground, and make it happen.